average, they're losing by over 80 points. So
yeah, that's not good.
Need to see some signs of life immediately is really what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, you would expect Miami to be great at a map like Rio because they got those aggressive players like Meadows, like Eric Boom, and even Vico at certain times can run that SMG. But we're gonna be able to see if they've been able to right their wrongs on this map. And already starting off is my potential rookie of the year, because Gwyn, regardless of the roster, regardless of who he's playing, he's always putting up numbers. Can he continue to do so today?
That's the question. Good start here, though, for Miami overall. Decent eliminations, only allowing 10 seconds of opening time, plus a full setup here. Trying to finish off this P1 time here early. And I will say, not just as Gwyn really trying to establish himself as a potential Rookie of the Year candidate, but we need to see some life out of Eric Boom, man, because when you have the conversation between Journey, Eric Boom, the potential of a Real, I'll be honest with you, dude, it's one of those things. It's like, pick one of the three. I don't see the results changing that much, so like something needs to be proven here if you're Eric Boom.
Yeah, you need to prove it why you deserve to be here. And already finding a lot of time off of this P1, setting your teammates up for the next hill as well. As you see Vico already off the rotation, blocking that spawn for Carolina and now forcing them to push right up the middle. It's a great start to the game. Can you cover any more ground? A team kill comes in from Clayster, takes down TJ, but it's Eric Boom realistically walking away with a double, make it a triple. Okay, he must have heard you, Alan. He's starting to turn up.
Looking good, looking good. Rotation gonna get locked in here for Miami. 3 in a row for Eric in particular. Support is all the way around him. Ooh, clean shots from Eric. Okay, let me eat my shoe real quick. Oh, the snap down low nearly also able to land, but now Carolina off 3 kills in a row. Just need to find Lucky, and as he gets tagged up by some lingering nades, that will be a break attempt here for Royal Ravens, fully confirmed.
Yeah, this is good stuff right here from Ravens to not give up all this time. Miami have come out swinging out of the gate, so you have to be instantly able to respond. Finding that break P2 is going to put you down by about 15 to 13 seconds if you can walk away with this remaining time, but it's going to be all about this rotation. TJ Halley is able to find 2 and now pops that dead silence, trying to block those ones from Miami to start spawning across the map.
TJ figured out though, Semtex will confirm the kill. A little bit of space gained as well as Metals finds kills at mid-map. So opportunities again for Miami to be really nicely on rotation here. That's one of the kind of problem points that we've seen them, not just on this map, but in pretty much every map. So already kind of making strides towards trying to correct those mistakes. Carolina setting up a lot of this hit attempt from the bottom side of this hard point. First blood good for TJ. Clayster just making sure no one comes off spawn. I mean, you see Lucky trying to anchor in the back, but he's not able to do so, as all the kills from the front are perfect fit for Carolina.
Yeah, that's beautiful for Carolina. Clay works his way around the deep end. You have both the SMGs attacking through side boxes. They find all the kills, but do they find the last player in Lucky, who is just simply staying alive to give his team another opportunity to find a break? They do so for at least 20 seconds. Carolina are going to get those close back spawns as well towards the back end, so they're going to be able to reinforce their way right back on in for the final 15. But Miami Heretics ahead of the game, rotating early this time over towards P4.
Looking decent to this point. Going to get right back in for possibly a tie game if they can rotate over successfully. Felony, though, caught over towards Box's side. So once again, Miami put themselves in the right position. But can they just find more off of their holds? If we're really to nitpick, that seems what's been going wrong to this point. Good start here, though. First 15 seconds should be pretty much locked and confirmed. Clayster working off the back. Double hit through boxes. Not finding maybe as much success as Carolina would like. And as Clayster gets sniffed out of the backside, that's a lot more like it if you're Miami.
Yeah, they're playing really, really slow on these breaks. Carolina is. They're trying to set up the perfect opportunity every single time. And Miami just finding the kills around the hill or forcing them to play a totally different way that they want to, is now they've been able to hold this hill for a complete 30 seconds. Final 25 is still in their possession, but now you have Carolina setting up pinching. Clayster working his way around the back end, should be able to get the freebie onto Lucky, finds a second as well. So it's Carolina walking away with the final 20. But if you're Carolina, you cannot use this as a recipe for success. You have to be the team early on and setting up for some proper time, because Miami is slowly but surely just keeping the lead in their favor.
And that has been one of the reasons that Carolina has been so competitive on this map. I mean, they rank in the top 3 when it comes to finding success on their holds. You know, we kind of saw that not just in their first matchup, but they looked really clean, but in particular against Optic, they were also giving them a hell of a fight. A lot of it off rotation, so it feels a bit weird to see this Carolina team relying a lot on their breaks. But hey, the good news is, hey, they're still sticking in the game, and they found a lot of success doing that to this point. So 40 seconds to fight for here. Fellow off the pinch, able to take down one, plus a little bit of extra damage in towards Eric. So no follow-up challenge coming through, at least as of yet, for the Heretics.
Yeah, this is a perfect break coming in from Carolina with only 12 seconds initially into this hill. And now you have TJ and Gwyn just slaying around this hard point. TJ going to be the aggressor. Unfortunately, does get taken down. But he was creating a layer for his teammates to be free over towards this HP. This has been a great response from Carolina. Great stuff from Clayster, just soaking up all this hill time as they brought this one all the way back. Now only down 10 points.
Yeah, looking solid. And this is where things can really reset. Great opening map out of TJ in particular as he's kind of flipped back and forth between a rival line and MCW depending on what he needs, and right now it's the rival. Whoa, almost. Snap on towards Eric. Shuts down the potential trade, and with that, Carolina off to the races here on P1.
That's just what he does, man. He wins those insane gunfights left to right. And he keeps his teammate alive in towards the point. It's now Miami Heretics forced to break on in, but it might be just enough for Metals going on that deep pinch. Finds one, finds two through the middle of the map. Now he's going to put himself in an aggressive angle to cut off more. Finds another one. Miami Heretics on the back of Metals leads to the break.
And I was just about to say, doesn't this feel a lot more like the Metals we saw in the first 7 games of this Miami Heretics team? He's not just sitting back waiting for information. He's the one just moving out saying, don't worry, boys, I'll take care of it for you. Well, those words, but in Spanish. TJ, right on the backside. Okay, lots of damage confirmed. Doesn't finish his food on the first, but doesn't make a difference. Still comes away with both. And once again, Carolina final late break to keep themselves right in the game.
Yup, final 10 seconds is going to be theirs, but this is where Miami will start pulling away with this game at this P2 to P3 chain. So you have to find your way on in. And with all those teammates dropping around fellow, now you have to slowly work your way as they're going to apply the pressure through the front end. You were trying to time this flank. Going to be able to get a sound cue, find that first kill onto Vico. Now it's time to hit the go button.
Centex not quite able to tag anything onto Lucky. Fellow still slips on in. Tough gunfight, but he had help from Clayster. Now it's just up to Eric Boom with a little bit of support from Vico over the top of the platform, and they're going to combine for 3. Last player to grab is Clayster, and how about that? Essentially call it what it is. 2v4 situation. Heretics break back through. 30 seconds still to go.
Okay, Carolina need to find a way to stop this bleeding, and it needs to be a break over towards this P2 because they've blown this game wide open. Now you're down by 50. You can't give away this extra 20 because then you have to get a full 60 hold at this P3 hill. But it's just Metals and all the SMGs for Miami Heretics is playing super aggressive on a map like Rio. We just saw it on full display last game what 4 SMGs are able to do. But now Miami Heretics, they've been able to blow this game wide open. Now you're going to force Carolina to try to make up for it over towards this P3 hill.
Have to have it, but for the Heretics, they can definitely feel a win brewing. Perfect time to take a listen into their comms as we jump in with the Miami Heretics. Listen in.
Estoy un tiro.
Muerto Clay.
Muerto
Doble.
Clay.
Escucha.
Dame con la piña, Javi.
Cajas un tiro, pelo. No está en la esquina en Zinc, no está en la esquina en Zinc. Te estoy esperando. Me estás
No le veo un tiki, bro. Era para el medio, aparece el mall. Pego piña al punto.
Pateate la punta,
Hazle un tiro, hazle un tiro. Tiki, muerto. Un tiro azul.
Clay.
Buscarlo. Buena. Otro más. Al fondo,
Hacer amarillo, creo que nace amarillo. Hacen amarillo también, hacen amarillo.
Están casi el que buscáis, ¿vale?
Tienes tu niña al fondo, tienes al al fondo, muerto Clay.
Era el pelo, ¿no? Pelo, un tiro pelo. Se va para X para arriba.
Tiene
un punto muerto.
bro. Recibo el fondo, voy a rotar. Tienes tu niña de cara, Eric.
Sí.
Otro más te cae en la rampa, Eric, cuidado.
¿Matas? En la rampa,
Nice, tiro otro sin punto, Eric.
Vale.
Es que la rampa, güey. Esa está de
Vamos a otro más. Muerto, yo por arriba.
Vamos, tío. Rampa, muerto. Sí, voy.
Otro Eric, déjame aquí, Eric. Déjame aquí, muévete a la que puedas. Voy a ir con el otro trozo de cara, chavales. Tengo la derecha, está muerto. Tengo el coche de politilla y coche. Estoy una bala, no puedo echarle a la
un tiro, cajas. Cajas muy tocado.
Va a pushar la rampa.
Hay 12 cajas.
Cajas Queen. No, encima el jeep, Queen. Que vaya. Va por la derecha.
Un tiro, ¿vale? El otro no sé qué ha hecho. Cajas conmigo. Toca cajas.
Llegas al curve,
I don't know much Spanish, Jay, but I can at least pick up on energy, my man. And this just feels like Miami's just flipped a switch. They're playing with the same kind of energy and tempo and speed and cohesion that we saw in the first 7 games of their league debut.
Yeah, you can just tell, well, actually, you can't tell that they are 0-5 all so far on this stage because everything is starting to click for Miami. All I heard was amarillo, which means yellow. Pushing out the ramp, that's what Eric Boom was doing. You know, I am Spanish, but I don't really know a lot of Spanish, but it's still Carolina in this game, as they were able to keep P4 contested a little bit, but Miami Heretics have been on the gas pedal the entire of this map number 1. And now they're only 28 seconds away from closing map number 1, and they're all ready to team off the rotation.
Yeah, and this is one of those moments where for Carolina, you're not out of it yet, but you're not in a great position at the moment where it just feels like every other, or maybe even every rotation is continually being won by Miami.
Yeah.
Decent kills though. Gwyn able to at least open up a little bit of space. Pinstripe kill feed. Gwyn not done yet on 3 in a row. Metal's the last one standing, and fellow from behind will take him out of the hard point. So 240, 175. Carolina in a good spot. And interestingly enough, Miami going to take the passive route here, play through P1, and if they get the kills, great. If not, you're set up to try to win the game on the new hill.
Yeah, because all you need is one break if you are Miami. Now you have Eric Brew going on the pinch. He finds the timing for the first, can't find the one for the second. But it's still Carolina holding on. So this final 12 is going to be theirs. They can potentially win it if they can get a full 60 in towards the top P1 HP. But it's all about these next set of fights. Metal comes out with 2. Gwyn does trade, but it's still Metal's contesting through top mid.
That's an interesting call, though. It's only a couple of seconds. In fact, it's only just 1 second, and that leads to an opportunity here where Carolina could come off a spawn and try to reinforce this. 194, 243. Kills have to be perfect, but it's Fecal Metals able to turn up one absolutely needed. Last attempt would be from Clayster. Gwyn trying to make his way up towards Eskies. He would have to clean everything up, and outside of a trophy and a teammate, Miami will still hold strong. And that just feels like the Miami we used to know. I don't know where they went. I don't know what happened, but that's a little bit more like it.
There you go, Miami Heretics. Finally, you're giving your squad some life. You're giving your fans some life. Because your major is going to be next up, but you get a W on a map like Rio, where we thought when that map was implemented into our map rotation, it was going to do wonders for this roster. You're getting a victory early on versus Carolina. You're starting to change that script. Great plays out of Eric Broom. Great plays out of Metals. Every single time he was finding the timing going on that late pinch. But I really think it was all about those rotations. Carolina, they were right back and forth. What is it? 8th in rotations for Miami. 7th for Carolina. But that was the turning point of the game. If Carolina set up properly for one of these hills, they would have been right into this one. But unfortunately, it was Miami every single time at all these money hills. All the P2s they got done. The P3s they kept scrappy. The P4s, they were the team initially there. And even at the bridge hill as well. They were just always staying ahead of the game. What did Ali say on the desk? They're keeping up with the slang. It was all about the fundamentals. Yep. And they showed it in map number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's just, I hate to keep saying it, but you know, when we were watching this team last week and really even all of this qualifiers, just like, bro, this is just not the Miami that we used to see.
No.
I think in particular, like, they really stood out when we watched like Terminal Hardpoint before it was taken out of the pool. Like, they were running through the map.
Yeah.
And it's just like all of a sudden you got post-patch and it's just like Miami didn't know how to, you know, get one foot in front of the other. They were just moving so uncharacteristically slow. And it's just weird to see that happen off of just an instant spawn change and some of the hill changes. But that's more like it. It just felt what we kind of started to learn about this Heretics team, and you just kind of want to see that all the time because it's fun to watch when they're pulling this off.
Yeah, it definitely is fun to watch because we know they play with intensity, they play with pace, and when they're flowing in that flow state, especially with those SMGs, they're definitely fun to watch. As you take a look at the game flow, Miami were in control from start to finish of this game. It got to the second rotation at P1 where Carolina were within 20 points, but everything after that was all Miami, just staying ahead of the game, doing the fundamental part correctly, and taking map number 1.
Clean stuff. Yeah, gradual graph all the way through. But again, all of that felt like it came off of rotations. And one of the things that we always say is 40-20 exchanges on hard points will eventually favor the team getting 40 every single time. So that's kind of how that goes. But here's the thing. Invasion Search and Destroy comes up next. And even though Carolina have not been great or even good at Search and Destroy, this is the outlier. They're perfect on this map to this point, and they're really kind of checking boxes on all levels.
Yeah, they're great on this map. The only map that they're undefeated in Search and Destroy, sitting at a perfect 3-0. They're great on the attacking side. They're great on the defending side. And a majority of that success comes to them finding success in the first blood column. Whenever they find that first blood, they turn it into a conversion rate being number 1 overall. So you give them that first kill, it's basically GG. And then on the opposite side for Miami, this is what the desk touched on. They have been struggling in this mode. 2-10 out of the last 10 games that they have played in S&D. That's not the best. That's not the best at all. And then now you're going into Invasion Search and Destroy, where for them, in every single S&D, they're sitting at 12 overall in first blood. But on Invasion, that's actually true because they are dead last in that conversion rate. You get the first kill, it goes in their favor because they have a conversion rate of 3rd overall in Invasion, but you see the stats from right there. Like 12th overall conversion rate, 5th in opening duel percentage, dead last for Carolina on the conversion rate. It's been a struggle, but on everything but Invasion, so they got that in their back pocket.
Yeah, absolutely the case. It's just one of those things that you look at the strengths across the board and you go, why here only? Like, what's been the issue of finding success across the other maps? Like,
it's probably because Clay is like 40 years old, you know, so he's been playing Invasion for quite some time, so he knows this map like the back of his hand.
Nah, that's off the cuff right there. That's off the cuff. So it's going to be interesting because there's a lot of, again, polish and really positivity to say about Carolina. However, you know, on the other side, we were kind of touching on it a touch here, but you know, here's the thing for Miami, we need to be better at finding first bloods, bros.
Yeah.
Like straight up, I mean, we're doing great at converting when we do find them, but it's just what, in overall 36% of their opening duels they're winning. Like that's just not good enough. That's dead last in the league. So we need to be better at making sure we're picking good battles on the opening 30 seconds of these maps.
And I think, at least based off of map number 1, the confidence is there for the SMG. So they're probably going to be playing with that confidence in map number 2. So expect them to be pushed out in towards Cafe. Expect the aggressive plays up through Broken. This is going to be Carolina on the attacking side early on. Clayster tries to get early info onto the crossfires, but how many players are over towards B? Because you already find Eric Boom pushed up in towards Broken, which can contest Carolina and force them to slow down.
Yeah, and he's just watching on this quick cross. Vehicle deeper, making sure nothing hits their street side. And Eric's actually gotten up top. This should be a guaranteed 1-for-1 spot. Maybe over peaks that, and now all of a sudden Carolina know that they need to isolate if they do want to play through this B street, and they will. Good help from Vehicle. First blood decent, but it's immediately traded back. We go 3v3, now make it 3v2 as Fellow catches Vehicle up. That should lead to a plant.
Yeah, it's going to be an instant bomb plant for Carolina. You have Clayster watching a deep pinch. You can maneuver your way around Blue, though. But he is going to get info early on onto Lucky. Yep, just going out, playing with your life, not forcing that one-on-one engagement is a much better play as the bomb now goes down.
Oh, and Gwyn has gotten forward again. Pinch from Clayster also on the way. Although Clayster does drop. Gwyn did not see the player immediately below him, but still follows up on Lucky, and then the transfer over. Clean stuff. Maybe he did know. Shame on me to doubt him for a moment as Carolina come off the first blood successfully with the quick trade and also take the round.
Yeah, that's good stuff from Carolina to isolate the 2 players over towards the B side. You find the trade onto Eric Boom, and then the gunfight win from Fellow onto Vehicle. You instantly put that bomb down, put yourself in the man advantage, and then force Miami to try to break through the flank area. And they just get gunned down right there by Gwyn. Great plays again to find a double to close out the first round for Carolina.
Okay. One of those rounds that, again, the opening duel percentage will, again, favor Miami, but, like, did it. Like, it's so quick to the trade, and, okay, that's, well...
Take that. Take that, Alan. You take that.
I say that's a great first blood, but TJ's nade converts his own trade, so we stay 3v3 early.
Yeah, TJ was just running right up the middle of the map. He probably had ordnance gloves on as well to throw those nades a little bit deeper, even though he does get picky. Evens up the numbers, makes it a 3v3 still. Carolina have every position covered. As Clayster's going to be the player. Calling out everything towards this B side, but Miami, they've already cleared out Broken. It's only a matter of moments before they try to take this bomb.
Does Clay get a read on this? Yeah, he tracks down medals for free. Transfers over, but Eric there to confirm. So how we go? 2v1 as Lucky cleans up Gwyn through mid-map. Fellow's on the wrong side of the map, but he's going to be getting a little bit of freedom here. Yeah, I was going to say, because not only is Lucky holding this position frontside DVD for Fellow to scout out, but the bomb hasn't been planted yet. So it's going to give a little bit of extra time for Fellow to move on over, and he wants to continue to go quick. 1v2 situation, and he's caught over through cage side. No worries there, Miami battle back.
That's just like the go-to setup for everyone in the 2v1 scenario, everyone in rank play. If you do not know how to play a post plan at that B bomb, I promise you, it's just one player towards the tractor, one over towards the cages, because the crossfire is there, the team shots are there, and you're able to use that cover ground from both of those positions to basically play your life. As Miami do a great job of finding that first blood, even though it's instantly responded. Just finding another trade onto Clayster, and then Lucky on the deep pinch is able to find 2. Yeah, great plays from Lucky to stay alive in that position. Miami tie the game up.
Lots of action here. Right
Jesus.
through mid. I mean, boys, come on. Let's just get some trophies down. Why are we risking so much? But everyone stays alive. Setup is heavily concentrated, though, for the Heretics right over the middle of the map. And this is all about, do you get a read on the cross here? Because Carolina is still trying to field things out over towards B. And the less they see, the more they may feel primed to try to execute over towards B. There's the crossover. Eric only able to tally 1 for now. And look at Heretics right there at the back all the way off this setup just to make sure they have anyone on the B site. Yeah,
you better hope that you got all those stacks in your back pocket. Obviously, Eric Boom just invested both of those, but Carolina know that they have a free B bomb plan. They're going to already take tractor position. They're going to already work this bomb plan, and now Clayster was able to get some info. Thankfully, a nade is still in the back pocket of Meadows. He takes down the bomb carrier, first blood of Miami.
Maybe an opportunity as well with both Eric and Metals playing up towards mid-tank. They may feel like they can move over towards DVD. Lucky also clearing deep through A Street. This is going to be a full retake, largely off the backside. So the focus has to go to what does Fellow see? And can Clayster maybe also help out? Because he's working on a pinch of his own. This is both teams playing for similar ideas, playing around the backside, but Clayster and Fellow both drop. Now it's just down to Gwyn, and he is in an impossible situation. Just has to play his life over towards Ice Cream. Check from the window is good, and that is a perfect retake from the side of Miami.
Yeah, that one catches Carolina off guard. You probably want to get your trophy systems down because you cannot allow your bomb carrier to get naded off for free. You allow Miami to open up at the first blood, know where the play is coming in, and eventually work those pinches. But it simply does come down to, even in that 3v4, the fact that Vico is able to win that one-on-one versus Clay. Because if he wins that one-on-one, now you know where the pressure's coming in from. Everyone's arrow from Carolina starts to turn towards their back end. But unfortunately, when he loses that one-on-one, Fellow drops at the same time. And then Gwyn left in a 1v4 at B. Yeah, GG. Miami take the round.
Okay. Interesting stuff to this point, though. I mean, hey, if you're Miami, you're feeling good about how this map is going to this point. You're finding some decent first bloods. They haven't necessarily been clean, but hey, you're at least able to tally a couple more first bloods than we've seen largely to this point ever. And now you survive in the first 15 or seconds or so, and there's an opportunity to isolate. TJ gets caught over towards Ice Cream door, and look how quick Miami are to follow up after that elimination.
And now this is where you got to rely on Carolina having a couple tacks, but they do not have any. You could just tell by Clayster's play right there. I got to try to get in. I can't give up this bomb site. Instantly a 4v2. Both the players from Carolina trying to be aggressive up through the mid-dark. Fellow does take down one, so still a manageable round for Carolina. Until that.
Yeah, they lose Gwyn, and now Fellow's stuck. Bomb not being planted yet. I mean, really, his only avenue of success would be to try to find a long-range 1v1, reset everything, keep the bomb plant from happening, but no, it's just a lot to ask. Okay, so now a couple of rounds in a row for Miami, and again, this just feels more like the Heretics team we saw at the beginning of the year. Quick kill, quick decision-making, make your opponent's life a living hell. How do you deal with it? It's just, where has this been?
It's been gone for quite some time, but these guys know that their major is right around the corner. We cannot have the same thing that happened to us at Boston, losing 6 straight maps and going home basically on a Friday. That's not exactly what you want to do if you are Miami. So just giving the team some hope as they're fighting into the search and destroy, still up 3-1. A couple rounds back to back, and this time TJ's going to start it off with the first blood, not getting naded, as now Carolina are in the man advantage.
Yeah, that's just one of those situations of no more nonsense if you're Carolina. Let's just hit him right back in the jaw after being beat up a little bit. That nade may find success. Oh, Fellow not tagged by it. Bomb being planted. Vico isolates. Well done. And then Lucky from behind almost takes the final 2. Gwyn doesn't get the plant off, though, so he backs off. And Vico's going to go quickly, knowing he doesn't have the regen yet. And again, I mean, it's just like, come on, just do that. Just be better, make better decisions, and Miami's reaping right now.
Yeah, they cluster up on the round, but what is Carolina doing? Like, you eliminate both the players in towards Cafe. You know that those are the guys that watch over the A-bomb. You already gain info on the player towards the right side of Water Street, and Vico every single round so far on the defensive end has played over towards B. So you're in the man advantage. Let's just get the bomb down. They wait too long. They allowed the nades to hit through the middle of the tank, sets up Vico for the free kill through middle to turn it to a 2v2. And then at the same time, across the map, you just take Water Street control and put yourself in the man advantage. This is a great play for Miami. Now 3 rounds in a row.
Decision making on point, flat out. Here we go. Quick action once again. Vehicle reads it, steps away. A little bit of assistance here for Metals. Tags coming through on both sides. Carolina are just done, though, with this early aggression from Miami, and they will set themselves up to at least have some sort of an early response here in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, Miami on this round so far, they gained the info of at least one player crossing it towards Broken. Fellow challenging through mid-dark, but I don't know if they're going to know that Clayster is now alongside TJ in towards Broken. So is there a game plan potentially to isolate TJ or just work our way up through Cafe? It's already been 40 seconds knocked off the game clock. You're not going to force them to back up, but it's going to be TJ to start off these engagements. Another first blood in his back pocket.
Yeah, just catches Vehicle over on the corner from DVD, and here we go. Eric Boom working through A Street. The bomb is here, by the way. Metals has gone unguarded to this point as well. On the other side of the map, finally he gets caught, but the bomb is planted. Very plausible that a 2v3 post-plant setup could work out, but a lot of it's going to rely on the timing that Lucky gets, because Eric is kind of stuck on top of the site. Clay through courtyard. Oh, tough gunfight. Oh. Lucky walks away the winner. Now on the other side, Eric Boom able to get a clean one for free. Treks over towards TJ, but the smoke gets placed. This is going to force the hand of Lucky to have to make a decision. He's called the bluff perfectly to this point. TJ not on for the defuse yet. Now he's going to get a chance in the gunfight. Timing is going to favor Lucky just like that. TJ has to hop it, and he does it in time. Oh my goodness.
I just don't understand, Alan. I'm simply not understanding what Carolina are doing. They are throwing away a bunch of these rounds so far. We're talking about a 2v3 where you have them trapped in towards the A site. Eric Boom just finished getting the damn bomb down, but Fellow just allows him to get away with his life for free. Then once it turns into a 3v2, you see that Carolina, they're forcing, knowing exactly where they're going to be at, towards the Water Street side. Clayster challenge on the back end, loses that one-on-one to Lucky, but then at the same time, his teammates are still not working the fuse. Like, they're trying to find these kills, and unfortunately, none of those go their favor. Miami now 4 rounds in a row at game point.
This is all while TJ's on 4, by the way.
Like, how?
What is happening? Wow. Crossfire setup here at mid for Miami's defense. Vehicle looking down B Street. Lucky doing the same, but on the opposite side of the map is Carolina, just kind of running a similar setup again to try to feel things out across the map. Metals will get stunned, but the thing is, there's plenty of support here with Eric Boom nearby.
Yeah, not even Eric Boom nearby. The trophy system was keeping them alive from all those tacks. It's now Carolina use a heavy load of their tacks to try to isolate Metals, but nothing to gain from it. It's already been 45 seconds knocked off of the game clock. TJ now trying to work his way out towards the A site. Metal gets the info. Shots are early on. Here comes the nade.
Should be a little bit too far deep, though, and it is. Eric also gets taken down through mid-map. Fellow, that's his elimination at lobby, plus Vehicle trying to stretch for the aggression will be cut up. Metals, not much he can do from there. Okay. So better from Carolina there. Just kind of get reading the information. It kind of forces the hand of Miami with that little stretch through closet in towards the bomb site. And after that point, Carolina just completely ripped apart this defensive setup.
Yeah, they took mid-map control. You had Gwyn watching that late pinch as well. He was able to get a freebie, but there's great stuff for Carolina to change the tempo of this search and destroy, as they were the aggressors on that round. But now you have to do that for the next 4 rounds to try to bring this one all the way back, as you're going to be the team on the defensive end. Just like if you're going to give early info over towards that B point, do not allow the isolation to happen. And also,
for real,
where's the clutch gene? Like, we got to be able to clutch up in these man advantages.
Yeah. It's a long road here for Carolina. Clay, I don't know if he saw Metals on this cross or not, if he's just watching this angle. TJ once again gets up top, doesn't see much. It's enough for him to back away. Does Metals show anything here? Bottom tree house, not quite. And while all this is happening, look at the space that Eric's been able to take. There's no information on anyone playing through A water, and that's enough for him to move into lobby and also clear that.
Yeah, he should be able to slowly work his way up through the bomb plant, but now Fellow wraps back towards Water Street. He knows that there's no action early on over towards B, but Gwyn gets some bad timing, trying to text over towards the site. The door didn't even pop yet. Metal finds one on the repinch. It's a 4v2, make it a 4v1. Fellow 1v4.
They're just playing a different level of COD today. That, collaborating with a couple of key mistakes from Carolina, put away a convincing search. Wow. I mean, wow. I am having a hard time evaluating this. This does not look like the same team that we've had throughout this entire Major II qualifier. Looks like a completely different heritage.
You might be having a hard time, but Carolina threw away a lot of those rounds. Like, we're talking about 3v2s. You got them trapped on towards the site. You let them get away, and then you challenge them one-on-one gunfights. That was just like the worst display of S&D that I've seen in quite some time. You had man advantage in most of these rounds, in the majority of these rounds, and you're just letting them get away from you. You're trying to put yourself in a position where you're always trying to guarantee a kill or guarantee a clutch, and Miami was just slowly picking you guys apart. Obviously, Metals was taking over on that deep pinch, right up through the middle of the map, finding multiple first bloods. Viku in the clutch, Lucky also in the clutch, Eric Bloom in the clutch. Like, they just had the clutch factor in their genes in that map number 2. Carolina, you want that one back, because it should have been at least a 4-4 going into a round number 9 right now.
Well, I think they're not just going to want that one back. They're going to want Rio back as well.
Yeah, like, what the hell's going on with Carolina? They're not playing fundamental COD today.
No, they're definitely not. And again, on the other side, this looks like the Miami that we saw at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just they needed to kind of rebuild that trust with Eric in the system. I don't know if it was just a little bit of lack of confidence with the maps changing and the spawns changing, whatever it is. It's not been evident today. They have been lights out. So with that, we've got high rise control coming up next, and we've seen some good and some bad from this Carolina team when it comes to high rise control. So we'll see if they can find a way to regain as we head things over to the break. Otherwise, Miami, well, this would be one hell of a way to kind of finish off their Major II qualifiers. We'll see how things go when we come back after the break.
The Call of Duty Week is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL. Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Slice up your competition with the Executive Chef Operator, now available in-game in the Call of Duty store.
Welcome back, everybody. Woo! We've got Miami decided they want to play COD all of a sudden. Unreal stuff, man. 2-0 up. Whereas for Carolina, I know I was watching this team over the course of the last couple of weeks saying maybe there's a chance these guys are starting to get more for real. question marks right back in the mix again here, Jay, through 2. And I think the only real major good news here is, hey, Major 2's around the corner, and now all of a sudden Miami fans have something to root for. So,
yeah.
Hey, how about this? Scan the QR code, get your tickets, give that Heretics team maybe the little bit of extra energy they need.
Yeah, they need that. Make sure you go over there. Make sure you shout on Vamos, because they need all the energy as they're going into their own major. Now they find themselves up 2-0 in this series, where they could potentially not be 0-7 going into their own major. So
yeah.
Confident to starting to build for this Miami team. On the opposite side for Carolina, I guess the game plan book that they looked at today was Call of Duty for Dummies, because all the fundamentals are just not there. Now they find themselves down 0-2 in this series, going into a high-rise control where it's basically a square up for both of these teams. The only difference that I see is the fact that Miami are slightly better on the defensive end due to the fact that they have played it less times than Carolina has. But you see the numbers there. It's basically mirror.
I thought the whole series for Dummies books was supposed to teach the fundamentals, though.
No, I guess not. No,
All
It's
right.
literally called different. They must have only read the back page.
Well, here we go. See if Carolina can find a way to regain. Like we kind of were teasing before the break, there have been moments where Carolina have looked great on this map, and others where they have gotten completely obliterated on it. So far, great start. Gwyn, same route he always hits, gets around the side, finds himself 2. Fecal backside hut, gonna try to give him a go, but Clayster holds on, and the A zone still gets captured.
Oh, this is good stuff from Carolina. They did this in one of their previous matches. The initial push over towards A, you just catch Miami off guard because you don't expect the team to stack over towards the A point without trophies. But when you got an SMG slaying the way that he is, Gwyn hits the route early on, now finds himself on 5 in a row. A is about to be done and dusted. What a quick response from Carolina.
Huge. Gwyn now off in, trying to find the 6th kill from the spawn side. Not going to work out. So Cruise Pistol gets eliminated. Clayster, good patience here.
Ay, ay, ay.
Eric with the quick turner. And then the follow-up kills from Miami are perfect. It just feels like no momentum is allowed to build here for Carolina.
Yeah, that age definitely showed a little bit right there, my friend. But now all of Carolina trying to fight out of their spawn. At least getting those underground spawns, and not a single player from Miami are looking towards that position. But Eric Boom knows there's something up. They have to be getting out from one way or another. And finally, they get a read on it as Carolina work their way through underground. TJ and Gwyn combined for 2. Clayster finds a 3rd. They're on the B point.
Fecal, the only defender really in place to do too much. Shots from the window, decent to kind of tag him up just a touch, but Clayster will finish it off. Okay, second tick of progress locked. 3 members on this stack. Holy cow. Lucky, able to jump in for a brief moment, but that's all it is, as the follow-up eliminations are there, and it got a little sloppy for a moment, but flat out, that is a very convincing offense for Carolina.
Okay, that's perfect if you're Carolina. You catch them off guard with the early A aggression, secure that point nice and easy. And then eventually 1 set of kills to work your way out towards B, stack the point, and then that round is going to be done. As Carolina walk away with 6 segments, they walk away with an attacking round. Now they go on the defensive side, where you just simply can't allow what you just did to happen on the opposite side if you are Miami.
Absolutely the case. Okay. Moment of regain there for Carolina. Not the greatest start for Metals either. Just trying to get a lot done, just not able to quite find the responses to Gwyn, who had a fiery start. TJ also finishing with 3. Heavy focus here from Miami. Right down elevator alley. TJ tested, doesn't know what gun to use, and that decision, or non-decision rather, is what kind of costs it, as Miami will start to find some success jumping in towards B.
Oh, and Clayster with the nade in hand, unfortunately, does get caught off guard as the second child comes in. Miami are now stacking over towards this B point. They're finding all the kills. It's not going to be at A. This time it's over towards B. First segment about to be complete. All of Carolina trying to fight out of their spawn.
Yeah, Metals holding on to one side. Lucky a little bit further down, making sure from the staircase he can watch everything through mid. And Carolina's going to chalk this and try to rotate for an A setup. But Metals has gone completely uncovered. Oh, no. This is not what you want if you're Carolina. Only 1 kill tally to this point. Extra 60 seconds has been added. But at least the follow-up here from Carolina, much better than the start for sure.
Yeah, good on the exit kills, shutting down all 4 players from Miami. Now you can take some map control right on back. Already aggressive up through the B street. You have underground, and you also have blue. A couple players from Miami are able to sneak their way on out, but it's not going to get anything done because Clayster's still holding down top mid control. The teammates are still setting up the proper crossfires. Eric Boom now the only player out. He's trying to work up the middle of the map.
Oh, nearly, but gets caught a little bit on sprint. Double traded though by Metals, who nearly has a response for Clayster falling off top helo, but not quite enough. So the life deficit now just 2 for the side of Carolina. Clayster continuing to work on that with more kills from bottom helo steps, and for Miami, kind of have to rely here on Eric Boom to create some space because there's not a lot of room to work with coming off spawn.
And it's not a lot. You can't work your way up to B street. You have to try to fight your way through blue, and Clayster finds that kill to earn himself a cruise missile. So Carolina only found 1 kill early on into this round. They have now taken advantage in the lives remaining, as Miami can simply not work their way on. Now Lucky runs out of ammo. Clayster is still alive, now on a 7.
Pivotal streak earned. Underground hit coming through for Heretics. This has gone completely uncovered. Eric's gonna get all the way through. Metals vehicle at mid-map through B. Good, but Gwyn, well picked up. Able to at least mitigate some of the damage that was being dealt for a moment there by Miami. Still not out of the woods yet, though. Lucky does fall off the map, so that does turn things into a at least manageable situation towards trying to get this defense back online.
And with only 20 seconds left, this is going to be Miami's last push. How do they decide to execute? A couple players run through the middle of the map. Everyone else through bottom blue. Gwyn starts it off with the first engagement. Meadows there for the trade, so they're able to pause the game clock for now, but this is what attacks need to be raining if you're Carolina.
Oh, Fellow turned around, though. Uh-oh. Not like this. Gwyn trying to work his way back over through mid once again. Can he find a way to jump on in? The contest is over, and wow, Gwyn just continues to win these gunfights, man. I know that, like, it's going to be tough to, like, vote for Rookie of the Year on a team that has not been necessarily as good as Minnesota, for instance, but Gwyn has been so pivotal towards saving Carolina time in and time out.
Yeah, he's been making great plays overall, but you see at the very end of this round, you get the investment out of the cruise missile from Clay. He said, this is one that we got a guaranteed win, as they're going to walk away with that defensive round, now up 2-0 on the control. And this time, I don't think Miami going to give up that 8-point as easy, so... Now, if you are Carolina, you got trophies to work with. You're already leading in the segment column by 3. Just got to try to get a lot done on this attacking round, and even if you lose it, you guarantee 2 defenses in a row.
Yeah. That is the big point. Okay. Moments there, though. Definitely feel the sweat building just a touch, especially from Carolina having to call in that cruise missile, but the fact of the matter is, you find yourself in a very convincing and powerful position up 2-0 early. 4 in a row for TJ. Could try to replace that previously spent cruise missile, and he's found a freebie off the opener. Does he see the player over towards Helo Stairs? Not quite, doesn't need to, though. Teammates have picked it up, and all of a sudden TJ off dead silence can get forward and try to play for another free kill to get the 6th.
Yeah, he's just going to chill down low. Wait to see if any Miami Heritage players are going to push towards the lower end, but that stun is going to give the info that there's definitely someone in our base. And Eric Boom finds the kill. Great place from Eric to shut down TJ off the streak. Finds a double onto Gwyn. And now all of Carolina forced to fight out of their base. Fellow at least opens one up on towards top heli. Finds a second as well. So here's the avenue to work towards A.
Absolutely. Clock will stop at 43 seconds. Follow-up eliminations coming over towards the B zone. So Fellow just needs to be a pest here. Let his teammates work over towards B, and that's exactly what will happen. Quick clearance, though, from the side of Miami. Metals trying to take over top blue. Not going to work out at all. And now all of a sudden you've got TJ on the zone. Support nearby from the rest of Carolina. Eric trying to make his way up the back of the ladder, and he catches TJ on his transition to try to reset things up. First tick at B will be good, but outside of that, Miami have regained nicely defensively.
Yeah, Miami doing great work right now, holding map control, forcing all of Carolina to overextend up through the B Street side. Vico wins a big one-on-one as well. On to Fellow, but it's all Carolina through this B Street. All the kills, though, in favor of Miami. Last player is Clay, so you take care of him. Now everyone off the respawn with only 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
Miami looking like they're going to walk away with this defense.
4 life advantage as well at the moment. Got a lot of work to be done when they get into their next offense. But for now, things looking decent. Hold the phone, 8.7 on the clock. That will stall as progress is being made on both zones here simultaneously. The kills from Carolina are good. TJ stretching across the middle of the map, taken down by Lucky. May not have been necessary, but regardless, it does create enough time and space for a second member to join over towards B. Second tick of progress is locked over on that B zone. Clay trying to make life as hard as possible on this A defense, but not quite able to. But the better news here for Carolina is that they have secured the extra 60 seconds, and with that, mathematically, they will also have the defense.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there from Carolina. It was only 10 seconds left. You had to make those final couple of kills count, and now you have a potential to walk away with this attacking ground. Great route from TJ to work through the side, wall run, finds the initial kill, Fellow through the middle of the map, finds a second, and now TJ's in a position to just keep these players at bay. He can find a 2-piece or even 1. That's a good enough job, but the nade comes in from Eric Boom. It's not going to get enough done as the second segment is already in. Carolina might close it here.
Yeah, they very well may. Fellow just holding his life at mid, taking so much focus away from Miami's defense. Follow-up eliminations are decent. Here comes the reach out. Third tick of progress being worked on. Clay off 3 in a row, having a much better map here. TJ behind him, and that will be enough for them to stack it up and convert 2 offenses. Yeah, I'll say that's going to feel a lot better if you're the Royal Ravens.
Oh yeah, you're feeling good. Okay, all right. I was talking about some Call of Duty for Dummies. That's how you bring it back, though. You shut me up with a clean 3-0 on high rise, walking away with a 2 attacks. You simply do not see that. But the game plan, the strategies were clicking for Carolina. First attacking round, you get everything over towards A, then you rotate over towards B. You keep that slaying prowess on your side of the map. And then you win another attacking round with the final 10 seconds where I thought it was definitely going to go to Miami. Oh, that's good stuff from Carolina. Okay, now we got to change that into the next hard point because they have a sub base where they are one of the best teams at the map. So you're feeling good.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. This kind of feels like, again, this is a weird series to this point.
It is.
In this spot where it feels like Carolina could definitely maybe even put it away at this point, but Miami's fighting, my man. Not so much on this map. And again, that just gives a lot of credit to the Carolina opening offense. I mean, finding so much value off their break off when no trophies are available can sometimes be a menace, especially with the propane tanks being as mysterious as they are sometimes. That masked with the idea of getting the cruise missile just built up so much early favor for Carolina.
Yeah, that was just good stuff from Carolina. When you attack over towards A, it just caught Miami off guard, especially when you don't have any trophy systems. There's no way in hell you're expecting that play to come through because then you have to worry about stun. You have to worry about nades. But when you allow those SMG to get aggressive as they were with Gwyn working that side wall run, that's basically a start off. So if you're playing Carolina, you watch that side wall run every single time on high rise because you're going to be able to catch Gwyn. And if you allow him to make a play through that side, then you're basically the chalk up A. Yeah. Carolina came out swinging in this map number 3. Series is far from over as they finally come to life. And now you're going into a sub-base HP where both of these teams, they enjoyed themselves some sub-base. Like 2-2 for Miami, 4-1 for Carolina. But if map 1's going to tell us anything of how this map number 4 is going to go, it's about the rotations. We're talking about Carolina being second overall best on a map like sub-base, putting themselves at that new hill first. On the opposite side for Miami, they're sitting at 9th overall. But we saw it on map number 1. It was completely flip-flopped because they won every single rotation on map 1. So I think if you are Carolina to win this map number 4, you just got to do the fundamentals correctly.
Yeah, and just to kind of throw a little bit extra on there statistically for all of you big brains out there, Miami currently ranks 3rd in overall hold percentage as well. So that's another opportunity to where you look at and say if Miami is going to rotate successfully, hey, they're likely going to put together a handful of points straight back to back. So a lot of focus for Carolina needs to be, I think, where exactly you're pointing to, on rotation, making sure you're putting yourselves in the best positions possible, because the other side of that statistic for Miami is that they were ranked last in breaking on this map. So you just have to stop them from rotating and setting up their hold setups. And if you're Carolina, you're a fan of them, you do that, you likely see a map 5 come through.
Yeah, and based off what we saw in map number 3, Clayster is now activated. He was the guy who was taking over, earning a couple cruise missiles, and the vet has to now lead these guys to try to complete a reverse sweep. And there's no better map for him to go out there and dominate again, like that, other than a map like Subbase, where you're talking about top 3, top snow, rotating early, setting up properly with that AR in hand. So I'm really looking at Clay to just be the tone setter alongside Fellow, who had a slow map number 3, but we know what that guy's capable of. When he is on, especially in HP, he's a very difficult guy to shut down.
Yep. Okay. All the key culprits lined up for you guys. And the other side of things here too is, again, you know, we expected a map like Rio for Miami to be strong for them, considering how quick their SMGs had played previously, plus the addition of Eric Boom. But now you put a lot of weight on, can you pull out 4 ARs and actually fight back against what has been, again, I think the thing about Carolina, there's going to be a lot of heat out there about how their AR line maybe hadn't been performing as well as you would like to see, especially considering who those players are. But let's be candid, you know, you put them on an AR-based map and they do play well. I mean, their hardpoint record has been good and it's been reflected by a number of maps that are more AR favored in the last handful. In particular, Carolina, last they were here, beat LAG 250 to 198. I mean, take from that what you will, but you know, just being LAG, I think the thing about it is they do rotate well. You expect Carolina to kind of play into their strengths through that muse.
Yeah, that's exactly what you got to do. Just play into your strengths, not play to counter the opposing team. You be the team early on and you force Miami to break where they're sitting at 12th overall. Not good. That means they never find success. So if you're Carolina, it's just got to be the fundamentals. And I'm really curious to see who starts on the preferred side, because on a map like Subbase, it's all about trying to chain that P1 to P2, and it's going to be Miami Heretics starting off on the preferred side to get some good time over to P1, but set up properly to not let Carolina simply get across that 50-yard line.
Yep. Oh, wow. What a start from Gwyn. Yeah, that'll work. Immediately battled back though by Miami. 3 for 2 the exchange. Hardpoint going neutral for now as both teams are just trying to vie for positioning over towards the left side of the map.
Yeah, both teams are just trying to flip those spawns, and now, at least if you're Miami, you're winning the engagements to keep Carolina trapped the way that you want to. And one thing that I was really curious about for Miami is that the last time we casted these guys, it was Eric Boom consistently running that Rival 9. On a map like Subbase, you need to pull out that 4 AR sometimes, so I'm really curious he's going to do so.
Trades back and forth. Fecal on 5 in his start. Opportunity for an early cruise missile to get earned for the side of Miami. And Fekal's just kind of played for it. He is sitting topside snow, just waiting for someone to cross through the middle of the map. Carolina coming back with a little bit of scrap time here, but their rotational timing is, to put it plainly, slow. It is not, they're not even close to putting a setup together.
Oh, but the good thing is they take down Fecal, who was on a 5 streak, shut down that cruise missile early on, and now you can apply pressure through the front end. So you have Clayster working around the deep, everyone else through the side door, through the front window. It's going to be a successful break and the spawns flip from Carolina. It took longer than we were expecting it to, but they get it done.
Yep, and they also shut down the cruise, as mentioned, so opportunity for them to get right back into this game. Fecal timing, oh, doesn't check his right, and Clayster's able to punish. Follow-up kills from Gwyn from the front, looking good. Miami in pieces, trying to find a way to break through this, and Carolina have read that perfectly. They say time for us to go, make sure there's no follow-up hit, and now all of a sudden you're starting to see the Royal Ravens really get across the map until Fecal can get to top warehouse, and he puts a bit of a pause to the timing of this rotation.
Yeah, you just got to keep this positioning if you are Fecal. Eric Boom trying to at least be the aggressor up through the middle of the map, not letting anyone slip on by, but gets some bad COD timing that he knew that they were pushing through Water Street. Fellows able to take him down, so Carolina now have the opportunity to work their way through comms, to work their way through tunnel and try to take top snow, but you got to get past Fecal.
Yeah, absolutely you do. And he has found, I think, every single one of his kills from this position. Tough battle with Fellow on the other side. Nades one side, tries to predict the follow-up on the other, but doesn't quite work out. Miami still soaking up a bit of time here, though, as the spawns are good for the Heretics. Metals try to create space in towards tunnel. That will work out nicely. Plus the follow-up over towards top snow. Very well capitalized by the Heretics, as now they're looking for a full 60.
Yeah, they've already held it for 35, so now Carolina in a situation where do we decide to be super aggressive and potentially spawn behind them? That decision has now been made for them. With only 15 seconds left, we just got to try to trap them in as long as we possibly can. You already have TJ off the rotation. Everyone else cutting off through the middle of the map.
Yep. Fecal, tough gunfight there from Fellow. Both players predicting it, but shots too clean from Fellow. Lucky is able to get one on the exit. 40-point game, but the setup for Carolina looking pretty solid. Fellow back towards top snow. Lucky surely seen this. Now has to kind of predict it between there's one player deep on top AC, another one a little bit closer, and the help from Fecal is good. So Miami can work their way through the middle of the map, and now they're just hoping and praying that Metals can catch some good timing on this water route. TJ inside the hardpoint has been dealt with very quickly.
Wow.
Easily, as that's going to be a full-on break. Spawn still good for Carolina, but that's a punishing moment for Miami.
Yeah, it's definitely a punishing moment for Miami, because you found the openings. Fecal finds 2 through the cut, and then you set up your teammates to instantly jump in hill to win a one-on-one, but the close spawns are still there for Carolina. So this final 20 is going to be theirs, but it's all about the rotation over towards next. Fecal putting himself in a position towards the propane tanks. If he can win this one-on-one gunfight, it's going to do wonders for his team. He does that. Lucky across the map gets the beat down. So it's going to be Miami winning another rotation, this time over towards P5.
The only player they may not track fully here, though, is Clay. Fecal's watching from inside P2. Good lineup from Clay. Can't quite finish off Metals up top, but at least pushes him off the angle. And that's enough for... I thought Gwyn was going to try to wrap backside warehouse. Not the case. He just kind of runs right up in towards mid, looking for the player inside the hardpoint. Eric Boom is tucked into a corner. Finally, he peeks out, and when he does catch Gwyn looking the wrong direction. So first 20, more than that now. Pretty much perfect for Miami, and there is no semblance of a re-hit anywhere near the hard point here for Carolina.
Yeah, this is where the game starts to get scary for Carolina, because now those spawns flip. You're forced to try to break in towards P5 from warehouse, which is not going to be easy to do. Lucky finds himself on 5. Fecal finds himself on 4. This has been another 60 hold, potentially, if they can walk away with this final 15. Knowing exactly where Carolina are going to apply the pressure from. They find the trade on to Eric Boom, but they're still not in a position to soak any of this time.
Wow.
Metals combines for 2, and now Miami have blown this game wide open. If Fecal can earn this cruise missile, oh, that's going to really shake up the plays from Carolina.
Timing on the peak, though, not great. So once more, Carolina, kind of like what we saw in the Rio, are just hanging around, making sure it doesn't get too out of hand, but again, the work that's being done is just not significant enough. We're seeing Miami just winning rotation, finding tons of time off their holds. Now Vico off the respawn, able to get a trophy system in with the break. Shots up top, keep the player top. Snow also at a bay. So now you've got, again, this situation where, I mean, Carolina's just all over the map. They're not teamworking anything. These are so many individual gunfights. Fortunately, a couple of trades are there, but Miami are quick to pick up on it. Hardpoint at worst goes neutrals, Metals cleans up another.
Yeah, with only 25 seconds left, you see the spawns from Miami on the preferred side 4v2. So if you're Carolina, you have to make a play. You have to make it now. They try to through the middle of the map, and Vic was able to line up too with that AR. So the final 12 not gonna go there because great team shots from TJ and the nade to eliminate him, but it's all going to be about this rotation. It was Carolina finding that early break with only 15 seconds left, but they are forced to do it again.
Great moment here from Clay. A couple of kills come through. Carolina trying to still set themselves up, but they need this hard point, and they need it badly. Let's take a listen in with the cops, the Carolina Royal Ravens.
I got naded back door. One more, yo, top got heady, you know what's up?
I got naded back door.
I spawned back to 3 guys.
Yep, I hear you. We spawned in time. We spawned close. I'm
sending
secret right now.
Gonna be top sub, guys.
Secret on me. No, nothing top sub. He's just holding pins. I'm sliding forward. Held up. P2 window. I've got top barrels.
Hey, side door. Andy's top sub, top sub.
No one top barrels jumping in the hill.
On time.
Alright, guys.
Down, boys.
Let's shut the fuck up. 20 seconds.
We're good. Lucky, the old one shot.
Through.
Yeah, spawn new, spawn new. We have full shit.
No, we have to.
Vehicle spawn trap me P1. Vehicle's front tunnel. Vehicle's front tunnel. They might have a streak here, okay?
In tunnel? They're not going
Pushing out your left with you.
Holding
He's
top.
low P5 on me. Dead.
Top got Eddie dead.
Right's open, right's open. I'm getting on. Yeah, I'm trying to like hold it
Okay,
kind
I'm
of.
holding your low P5 player, right?
I'm gonna get up one. No, one shooting me from right. Control. Top control.
Up control, weak as fuck, vehicle.
I don't have top so I'm trying to
Top
back up for
P2,
it.
top control.
I'm holding your low, okay? I have your low.
P2 went out middle.
Vehicle's right, one shot.
And shooting me from top P2.
Top.
Top got Eddie. Lucky.
I spawned up.
Above you.
Vehicle's on the right.
I
One
spawned out
I'm holding
too.
low P5.
Hopping in the back. He's got heady,
Going around left, guys.
Vehicle
Heady,
one time, one's low P5,
Around
one's
left.
low 10. One's low 10.
Got heady, Eric Boom. Not vehicle.
I'm nading it.
You naded. 1P5 too. Got heady. She's dead.
Back to one bullet.
Well, there's some visible and verbal frustration, I think, throughout that entire listen-in. We were kind of watching that setup. It looked like Carolina was in a good spot. Just a couple of overchows lead to some good shots from Miami, and now all of a sudden a quick break leads to what looks to be, again, a Miami win.
That's the biggest thing, man, is that they're challenging in the positions where they're not really supposed to be committing towards those fights. TJ through the back end, Clayson through top. Snow. If you lose those 2 positions, now you're going to spawn all the way across the map. They needed a full 60 to get back into this game, but it's Miami Heretics finding the break, now putting themselves at 240. Eric Boom already thinking the fundamentals. Cruise missile gets invested. This is game over.
Unreal, man. Trophy system that's lingering around will finish a couple off, but man, this just feels like an uphill battle times a million. I mean, wow. It's just so strange to see this because Carolina, I mean, let's be honest, like, again, you know, schedule-wise, maybe not the hardest ever, but it looked like they were clicking, man. You go back to that Optic series, they were playing Hardpoint well against a good Hardpoint team. But today, it just has not been there. A lot of individual challenges, a lot of players just kind of all over the map doing what they feel like they should be doing when it may not be benefiting the team. Cruise missile comes through, that'll open up the site. Spawns will move. And these last 7 seconds for Miami are going to be tallied up right here.
Yeah, that's GG, man. Miami Heretics have looked completely different today. You see Vico roaring. Vamos going 31-13 to close out this series. Miami Heretics finally showing some life. You walk away with the opening HP, you get the map 4 HP, and then you clutch up in the game mode that you have been struggling as of recent in that search and destroy. Everything was just clicking for Miami today. Nothing was clicking for Carolina when you talk about the fundamentals. And now they're in a very tough situation now because they're now 2-4. This is a match that you needed to potentially guarantee yourself a spot in winner's bracket. Yeah. Losing a match to a team that was 0-5 in this stage is definitely not something that they had on their scorecards.
No, not at all. And again, there is, I think, plenty to look at on both sides, but I have to go more towards the positive side of the talking points here. I mean, this just looked like a more comfortable Miami. First time we've seen it, like we said, since Major I qualifiers. And it's again puzzling to try to evaluate, like, why did it take so long for them to start clicking like this again? One roster change into a 1-for-1 role position. You know, yes, you have a little bit of a change up in terms of how the spawns, how the hills have moved, but it just looked like a team that was completely deflated. They were playing with a totally different tempo. a totally different level of cohesion than what we had seen previously. It looks like we finally have a piece of that here today. Just comes down to, was it, you know, a day late and $1 short here for Miami, looking forward to their own major.
And if you look at the game flow, you can just see where the turning point of the game was. It was down to the wire at P4, but they get a full 60 at that P5. They were able to chain it and keep themselves on the preferred side of the map for that P1. Then you chain it to P2. Like, that's the game right there. You get a full 60, you keep it scrappy at P1, then you get another full 60 at P2, and then a break at P3. Like, Carolina just, you can hear the frustrations in their comms. Fellas, like, they're already on me. Clayster, he was shaking his head left and right. They just couldn't believe, like, the game was the way that it was right in front of them, because that's one of their best hard points. They lost their best